He is in a way broken, but the edges are sharper and more dangerous than ever before. If I get the job, nice. If I don't get the job, okay, apply for the next one. If I would sit down and cry about it, one part of your brain is very emotional and one part is very logical. And sometimes when I'm very emotional, I kind of divide myself from the logical things.
I have been 2 times in jail. One for
If a person die, it is like a library goes up in flames. And think about all the knowledge people have within themselves.
because everything I have been through, and very important, the way I approach this and I use it and make me to the person I am. And I'm very proud of that person. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is about how life shapes you. Life doesn't just happen to you, it shapes you. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of joy or pain is molding you into the person you're meant to become. But here's the real questions. Are you letting life shape you, or are you taking control and shaping your own destiny? In this episode, we're diving deep into how life's experience has built resilience, wisdom, and strength, and how you can turn every moment into a stepping stone to our greatness. Let's get started. So, Annika, did you read the entire Quran?
During Ramadan? Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
You are checking my what I promised you guys, because I told you that was my goal for this Ramadan. I haven't started working yet. I've gotten a job in the children's services and will start soon, but I haven't started yet. So I had a lot of time to be on my own. So as well as being a lot with family and inviting people over and making food in the mosque and all of these things, I had a lot of time on my own, reading the Quran, listening to it, and looking at lectures from different imams. So I learned a lot, and it was a very nice and blessed month. And now I'm back at drinking coffee and drinking my energy drinks and everything when we record. So now it's more caffeine in the system.
Great work that you read the entire Quran. You go 101% inside as always.
Always. It is very important. And this was a very important thing for me to do, because I am new to Islam, and it was very important to look into the book, the words of God, and then to look at some things on YouTube that I was needing an explanation to as well, because it is a duty to gain knowledge. We have to do it, all of us, in religion, but also in life. You have to work on yourself. And today we're actually going to talk about life and how life shapes you, which is very interesting, and an episode that I hope creates reflection within our listeners. Because life shapes you through experiences, challenges, and choices. Every moment, big or small, contributes to the person you become. Here is how. Challenges build strength and resilience. Hardship forces you to adapt, grow, and push beyond your limits. Every failure teaches you something new, making you stronger for the next challenge. For example, struggling through setbacks can develop perseverance and problem-solving skills. And I once read a quote from a fighter that said, "When a fighter loses, it is like he is a broken bottle of glass. He is in a way broken, but the edges are sharper and more dangerous than ever before." Another factor is that people influence your mindset. The people you surround yourself with, family, friends, mentors, shape your beliefs and habits. If they have a positive influence, you gain confidence, wisdom, and motivation. If they have a negative influence, you may adopt limiting beliefs or unhealthy habits. So the lesson: choose relationships that push you towards your growth.
Choice determine your decisions. Every decision, big or small, has a ripple effect on your future. For example, the habits you build today, for example, reading, exercising, networking, shapes who you will be years from now. This one is so important, so I'm gonna say it one more time. The habit you build today shapes who you will be in years from now. Life doesn't just happen to you, you have the power to shape your own path. Perspective shapes reality. The way you interpret events in life affect your emotional and mental state. Two people can go through the same situation, one see it as a failure, the other as a lesson. And this is all about mindset. And this let me think about a story I hear before about two twin brothers who was raised by an alcoholic, abusive, and neglecting father. He drank all the time, beat his two boys, and they was neglected. Went a long time without food and have to learn to take care of themselves from young age. And when they grown up, those twin brothers, one became very successful, have a successful life, have great relationships with his kid, have a great marriage, and he had a good life. And the other one, he have a bad relationship to his children. He drank all the time, drank away his sorrow, get thrown out of his apartment, and all his life was just a chaos. And when someone asked them about why did it happen, both of them surprisingly come with the same answer: I had no choice. And that was very interesting, because the one who had a great life, he chose because he not want to be his dad, because that was everything was very bad. So he chose to make a good life for him because he not want to be the same person as his dad. But the other brother, he used this as an excuse and drank and didn't care about anything and had a miserable life. So it's the choice. So it's all about mindset and decision in your life. And this is so important to remember.
Definitely. And where some people find excuses and obstacles, other people find solutions and motivation to do better. They both use their father as a reason. One, to not become like him and to create a good life, and the other one, to become like him because of him. So, very powerful. It really puts things in perspective.
Absolutely. And life shaped you. Yeah, it does. But together with the things that happen to you, it's also the way you think about it and use it, how you approach the things that happen to you. The twin brother with the successful life, he approaches in a perfect way.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, the other one didn't.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Choosing to always stay a victim of things is not going to help you. Unfortunately, we go through difficult times in life, and if we choose that to become bitterness and make us take bad decisions and ruin new relationship because of it and all of these kind of things, it will just keep on ruining for us. How much power is this father gonna have of their life? The one that chooses to not create a good life, his father is still ruining his life, but so is him. He is his own individual. He has the power to stand up and create a good life as his brother. But what do you choose? And what kind of mentality do you have? How do you view things on a perspective? Because pain and loss happens to us and it's very difficult. But how do you overcome it? And the positive side of this is that it also teaches gratitude. Difficult moments, loss, heartbreak, and disappointment can help you appreciate life more deeply. They remind you what truly matters and push you toward self-discovery. The key is to learn from pain rather than to be consumed by it. Life shapes you, but you also shape your own life. By being intentional with your choices, mindset, and the people around you, you can transform challenges into stepping stones towards success.
And about life shapes you, I just think about when I was young. I was 6 years old, and I start to pick a potato together with my father, brother, uncle, cousins. So I did learn to work from an early age. And also at 6, 7 years old, I learned to split wood and stack the wood together with my father. And also from my mother, I learned to clean inside the house and help she with things. So my mom and my dad have learned me a lot about good work ethic. And also when I was around 10, 11, 12 years, I worked for my uncle. Me and my brother and another cousin worked for an uncle outside his house, and also an old house he did buy outside the island. And we was casting with concrete. And when I was 13 years old, I started to work at a ship's yard in my island. And that I work every Saturday and all holidays from I was 13 until I was 17. So I work all my life, start on the early age, and that learned me a good work ethic. Always saying what I do, I always have to do as good as I can. And yeah, I was very proud. I remember when I was young, I work and earn my own money. So that was a great feeling. And when I grown up, yeah, I work as a fisherman, yeah, for 8.5 years. And after that, for a year as a sailor on a supply vessel. And special about when I work as a fisherman, it's very hard work. It's dangerous. You have to work quickly because we have to fish as much fish as quickly as possible. Go to the land, deliver, and out again like this. So I learned to push myself all the time. And after that, I did work 8 years onshore on a warehouse. I worked as industry mechanic for 5 years, and at the end, I did drive wheel loader and tractor for transport on a gas plant. And after that, I and Annika became business owner, start our own business and podcast. So I think about all the work I've been through. It learned me a lot of things, and some of the job I was new in, it was many things to learn, and I didn't know it, but I just throw myself into it, believe in myself, and would like to learn. So that learned me a lot, yeah. And it learned me that I can do everything I want if I just want to learn and work hard. So that's how I shape myself about the work, good work ethic, and learn to take more responsibility and work about different things. I see I can do everything just if I believe myself.
I think that the roughest storms has taught me how to sail straight through them, and where it is safe to throw out the anchor, where it's safe to go into a safe harbor, and all of these kind of things, because life definitely shapes you, and your hardship shapes your resilience, your work ethic, your mindset, and all of these kind of things. I think it is your story. It is your way. So make it worth it. Make the sale worth it. Make the story worth telling and worth living. And be present. Be happy about yourself and learn from your mistakes. Don't go in a circle and do the same mistakes over and over again. And I've learned a lot about this recently, because sometimes I kind of don't want to lose things, or I want to work so much with forcing things. But now I'm in the kind of phase where I think it's better to kind of let go of some things, because I just have to accept that some things are outside of my control. Life shapes me. It is what happens to me, but it's also how I respond to it. There are only a certain amount of things that I can control. And then there are some things I cannot control. Let's say I go to a job interview. If I get the job, nice. If I don't get the job, okay, apply for the next one. If I would sit down and cry about it, what will it help? It will not get me the job. They won't even know. So why spend so many hours on something that doesn't reward you back in a way? And this is just an example to kind of put things into perspective. How much energy do you choose spending on one certain thing? And it's not always a choice. A very consequent choice is not always like that. But then we have to work on ourselves to be able to not fall into that kind of loop in a way, to have a good relationship with your own feelings.
Absolutely. And I did live in Thailand for 6 years. I worked in Norway, and then I lived in Thailand. 1 month in Norway working, 1 month in Thailand, like this, going back for 6 years. So then I get used to a lot of travel. I meet a lot of people, and it was amazing the first years in Thailand. I travel almost around everywhere in Thailand. A lot of good food, good experience, stay in the sun, and it was amazing. It was like a holiday every day. That was good, yeah. Lived an exciting life, have a lot of cool and funny stories. And also then I became an alcoholic. And then it became a lot of stress, a lot of bad and dangerous situation I was inside in Thailand. So that was tough, yeah. But of course you became good to handle things. You take yourself through a lot of pressure, tough thing like this. It have taught me a lot, and it have made me very strong inside my can handle everything. So that's about the bad things. It make me stronger. So after I became very alcoholic, yeah, and I moved back to Norway. I broke up with my wife in Thailand and took my daughter back. And then I started on rehab. That was back to a normal life in my old country again, Norway. And I did work a lot about myself. I have to learn to think in the new ways. It was tough, yeah. It was tough, and you have to face a lot of the things you have done for many years in rehab. But it was great to work about that. And I raised my daughter alone as a single dad, and that made me more calm, much more caring, and she gave me a super strength. So that's also things in life that have shaped me as a person.
And the things that we go through become a part of us, and then we need to handle it in a good way. Like the story you told us about the two brothers. How do you respond to things? And I think of it this way, that everything happens for a reason. Everything is written. Long before we were placed on this earth, everything was written about when you will be born, when you will die, all of these kind of things. And when I get very emotional and start overthinking things, I get very sad. I fall into a loop and things get extremely difficult. And I'm the kind of person that when I'm emotional, it's easy to kind of forget the logic. And when we are at lectures, we also learn that they call it the emotional brain and the logical brain. It is two different parts of your brain. And that's actually how it is. One part of your brain is very emotional and one part is very logical. And sometimes when I'm very emotional, I kind of divide myself from the logical things. So I forget the logical things. And it's not good, because we have to have a good relationship between these two. And we learned more about this in the Stoic episode, that we need to kind of not try to hold on to the things we cannot control. We have to have kind of a space between this emotional and the logical part, so it doesn't always become a fight and one wins over the others. We have both. And for me, I try to learn a lot, observe a lot, and then I try to just have trust. I have trust in Allah that everything is written, that everything happens for a reason. Because when I start overthinking and get too emotional, then I kind of lose sight of things. So it is very important to not get so emotional that I push away my trust in things, you know? And it's all just a test. Everything happens for a reason. And people are like a mirror. We talked a lot about this in episode 54 about ego. Ego is a part of yourself. It is a part of how you work, your personality. And you have to have a good relationship with yourself, because then is when you reveal what is inside of me that needs healing. Why does this challenge me? Why do I get upset when people say this or do this? It is extremely important to work on yourself first and then start coping with things around you. You have to be honest with yourself first.
And other things in life that has shaped me also. I have been 2 times in jail, one for drunk driving and one for street fighting. I'm not any proud about that stupid thing. Before I was young and stupid. Now I'm older and wiser, and the drunk driving was the worst one. me and my brother did drive car, and we crashed the car, crushed a light in the road, and there's a lot about money about this one, but that wasn't the worst. The worst was that my brother almost died because he broke his femur, and the bone almost went inside the main artery. It was only centimeters in front. It went inside that, and then he have been died. So that's the most stupidest thing I've done in my life. And very sad, yeah. Him get hurt, and other person in the family get very, disappointed and sad like this. So drunk driving is one of the most dangerous things people can do. Yeah. So I always, when I talk with the youth, young people, I always tell them that please don't drink and drive, because it's so dangerous. You can hurt yourself, you can hurt a lot of other people, and to people who see someone gonna drink and drive, just try to stop them, because it's so dangerous. I'm not any proud about that, but it happened, and it was a tough period in my life, but it had made me stronger, learned to handle more stress, much more thing happen, and through my life, I pushed myself very hard all my life in training, in football, when I trained weights before, cardio, boxing and kickboxing. And before, when I was young, I was 13 years old, brother was 11. We did buy us a boat, and we start fishing. Get fish, we did get crab and lobsters. We used fish net, and we used hooks. And with every day after school, we did fishing. And it was football, it was training. So I have been very busy all my life, and that's also shaped me to the person I am today, because I have built up my tolerance, so I can go hard for a long time. Our podcast business boost our personal development as well. We have a much more responsibility, much more pressure, but I feel that I handle it well, because I have been through so many things, so I can handle the most thing very good.
And something that is also very important to focus about is to stay humble. I've mentioned this before, but you have to learn from others. If a person dies, it is like a library goes up in flames. And think about all the knowledge people have within themselves. And my brother has mentioned it before, that we have one mouth and two ears for a reason. You have to listen more than you talk. And I've been thinking a lot about Elmin and Thomas that has been in our podcast before. You should definitely go and check out those episodes if you haven't already done it, because these two men are someone I look really much up to. They have found out so much in life and within their personal development. And they have a lot of same characteristics as you do, Joakim, and my husband, Karim, who will come to the podcast eventually. But all of you have figured a lot of things out about life. And like Thomas, he is a CEO. He runs a business. He runs several businesses. He owns a gym. He's been a coach for the UFC fighter, Emil Make, for many years. He's been a pro fighter. He's been a coach for many years for many fighters in all kinds of leagues. And when people come and tell him something, he doesn't have a big ego. He doesn't have to tell these new people who he is and what he stands for. He's just quiet. I've observed him many times because he listens. Maybe there's something he can learn of the new guy walking into the gym, telling Thomas about this and this and this. And it's very fascinating to see, because Thomas has no need to prove himself, because he knows all of these things, but he stays quiet because maybe there's something he can learn from other people. And this tells a lot about how good of a relationship he has with his own ego. And this is something I admire about people. This is a very unique and important human quality.
Absolutely. And you learn more, if you not have to show too much all the time, you can be humble and listen. So that's a great way to approach life. And life has been fun, exciting, amazing, and interesting. I have got a lot of success in my life, but it also have been hard. It have been a lot of struggle, stress, sad things, dangerous situation, disappointment of my close family, and I have a lot of failures also. But I am very proud of the race I ran and the person I have became. because everything I have been through, and very important, the way I approach this and I use it and make me to the person I am. And I'm very proud of that person.
I am very proud of that person as well. And your failures was at the time a big sorrow and a big disappointment for us, but they were fixed through your actions. You repaired them, and we never go through life without mistakes. No one is perfect, and your mistakes and failures that affected us, you repair them, and we are stronger thanks to it and because of it. And that's what it's all about. We all make mistakes, but we have to learn from them, and we have to swallow our ego. We have to repair, we have to fix it. And I think that we always have to think about what is important. Don't be so afraid of things in life. Don't be afraid to fail. Once I heard a story about a parent that was so afraid of their child falling. So they ran after their child when they were a baby, 1 year old, a toddler, 2 years old maybe, and they were starting to learn how to walk, and their parents never let them fall. And this actually became an issue because of the balance and the teaching. And it's not like a baby risk very much of falling on the living room floor on a mat. Like, this is a part of life. We have to learn how to stumble and fall and stand up again. So we cannot go in and overprotect. And don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to have good relationships because you're so afraid of failing or losing them. We fail all the time. I fail a lot. Joakim fail a lot. We all fail. But don't let the fear of failure hinder you from living a good life.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have to go for it.
Go for it.
And I will keep working on myself until the day I die. I always want to become a better version of myself. And the things that happen shape us you, but also the way you handle those things and the way you use it in the right way. And another important point, do not use the victim mentality. Turn everything that's happened to you into your adventures, good or bad.
Definitely. That is such a game changer and so important to think about, because as we talked about in this episode and repeated several times, life doesn't just happen to you. You have to take responsibility and actions. You stand on your own 2 feet. And as we teach a lot in Islam, we just say Alhamdulillah for everything. If something good happens, okay, thanks to Allah. If something bad happens, okay, thanks to Allah. Because things are out of my control. I can hope for things and work for things and wish for things. But if He doesn't want to give it to me, I won't get it. So I don't force things. I don't sit here and think so extremely much about things anymore, because what happens, happens. Create the life that you want to live. Be happy. Take action. Be honest with yourself. Discover yourself, and don't depend on others for your happiness, because other people don't know themselves and they don't know you. So don't depend on them to make you have knowledge about how you should feel about yourself. So just be you. Learn from the lessons that you've learned. Life shapes you, and you can control in what direction you want to be shaped in.
101% for sure. And I'm happy for all the good things that happen with me, but I'm also happy for all the bad things that happen. In life, you win or you learn. Today's episode was recorded April 3rd, 2025. In the show note, you will find the link to our homepage, the 101personpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, donate to our podcast, and all the information about subscription you need. Take care of yourself, educate yourself, take responsibility for your own life, and give it your best. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we will highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. Until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.